Why is weight loss so difficult to maintain for a lot of people after losing their weight? Well, let's first dig into what causes weight gain, what you can do to create weight loss, and what needs to happen to maintain that weight loss, and why that part becomes hard for a lot of people. Let's dig in. All right, so some of the things that cause weight gain. I have a list here. Not getting enough sleep, big. Eating and drinking too much and too frequently.
A diet lacking in fiber, protein, and healthy fats.
Emotional distress, dealing with high levels of stress, constant depression and anxieties. Inflammation throughout the body,
including gut dysbiosis, which interferes with nutrient absorption. Also, hormonal imbalances such as hyperinsulinemia, hypothyroidism, and estrogen dominance or not having enough estrogen.
living a sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, obviously that's a no-no.
And certain medications may cause weight gain.
And just to piggyback on that inflammation one, a lot of that can be created from toxins in the environment. These things called obesogens. Okay, you could be eating them, drinking them, breathing them. These things will create inflammation in the body and create excess weight also. Now, a lot of these things could actually be running concurrent with each other. So somebody could be not getting enough sleep, eating too much, eating too frequently, living a stressful life, which causes inflammation in the body, which causes their thyroid to go off and their adrenals to go weak. So a lot of this stuff can be compounded. There is a genetic aspect to this. However, I like to put the genetic part like to the back because there's like all these other front runners that are likely the culprit before we even get to genetics. There's these things called epigenetics, which is how your genetics are expressed. So it's a layer above the genetic code. Okay, so this code doesn't have to express a certain way, but there's things in your environment or habits that you're doing or thoughts, something that could be causing an epigenetic expression of this obesity or this weight gain or whatever other disease. We could talk about that for a long time, but let's stay on topic here. So those are some of the top causes of weight gain. So let's talk about weight loss. What creates weight loss? There has to be a level of energy restriction. So you have to be eating in a deficit to lose fat. So fat itself, a pound of fat equals to about 3,600 calories. All right. So you'd have to burn 3,600 calories to lose 1 pound of fat. You're not going to do that in one day, but you will do that maybe over a course of days of, say, energy restriction, right? So my favorite form is like fasting. I like to implement some kind of a daily fast. A lot of people run into the problem of eating consistently, so your body never gets to switch into fat burning mode. It's constantly in fat storing mode. You're adding energy to it every bite you're taking, and if you're not doing anything to counteract that energy consumption, the energy you just added into your body, you're just going to have weight gain. I do have a lot of people also that don't eat enough. But when they do eat, they're eating kind of ad libitum. There's no structure to the meal. And, they do this binge eating thing. And usually they're not eating enough because they're really stressed out and they're really busy with life. So they're not even thinking about food. A lot of people fall into that category, but they tend to still be overweight. You would think they would just be losing weight, but they don't because of a couple things.
Gut dysbiosis of the microbiome can make it very difficult to absorb the proper nutrients and cause systemic inflammation throughout the whole body. Gut dysbiosis is an overgrowth of opportunistic bad bacteria, yeast, fungus, parasites in the intestines that can cause issues, including weight gain. This may need to be addressed first before any weight loss can occur.
The adrenals, they could be overactive, producing cortisol, which influences blood sugar levels. Okay, so cortisol will tell your liver to produce energy, to make energy to get you through this stressful moment. So our body runs off of mainly glucose for its energy. There's other energies, but the main one is glucose. So your liver is going to use materials, whatever materials that it can use to create glucose and dump it into the blood to give you enough energy to get through this stressful moment, whether you ate or you didn't. Say you don't do anything to burn off that energy, that excess energy, it then gets stored away, creating weight gain. Another thing could be your metabolism is kind of flat. Your body goes into like survival mode to where it down regulates its functions. Okay, so this is classic with, low energy, a lack of motivation to go do things. If you actually ate a little bit more of the right things and went out and moved your body and revved that metabolism up and put some muscle on you, you will notice that your energy increases, your appetite may even increase. And this is because now your metabolism has kicked into gear. Okay, it woke up. When you have that flat metabolism, you are going to easily pack on weight, or it's just going to make it really hard to lose weight. So weight loss involves having a proper energy consumption level, balancing that out with a fasting or burning level, also balanced with having good sleep at night, also balanced with having great stress reactions and stress responses. We are going to have stress throughout the day. I mean, that's part of this life. So it's really important to hone in on the stress piece, especially if that's how you're living most days. Weight loss can be really difficult to maintain. A lot of it goes back to psychological aspects,
as well as lack of adherence to your dietary and lifestyle plans.
Okay, so you have behavior and habits that need to be changed that you've been practicing pretty much your entire life. They bring you joy. You feel good when you do it. You feel comfort when you do these bad habits. So even if you've lost the weight, maybe you didn't fully address the habit. You didn't fully address the behavior. Here are some psychological aspects that people may run into that make that behavior and habit change really difficult to maintain. So you have your situational barriers and trying to resist temptation. When you're out with your friends or you're at a birthday event or something like that, there's going to be cake, ice cream, drinks, alcohol, snacks, Cheez-Its, all kinds of crap, right? And you're going to want that. And the people there are going to be like, hey, why aren't you having this? And it becomes really difficult. Stress-related eating. If your comfort zone to relieve stress has been to eat, snack, sit in front of the TV, that's something you're going to want to address. You have to find other stress-relieving activities, such as going out for a walk or doing some breath work or talking to somebody or stretching. Like, I love to just get up and do some yoga moves and poses. I love to listen to music, which makes me get up and dance in front of the mirror. Find that rhythm. Find what that could be for you other than eating. And once you break that habit, it becomes something that you don't really go back to. Another thing would be like confusion with your food, like not being prepared in times of hunger. So people will get really hungry, right? Because they went too long without eating. And they're just like, well, I'm just going to grab something. And you weren't prepared. You want to set your environment up for success. A lot of people will perceive healthy food as it's not as appealing. That's a lie. Real whole foods are delicious. They have all the flavor, and you combine it with other like amazing tastes and aroma. Like, no, you just haven't explored it enough. You're used to packaged foods, cheesy, hyper palatable, salty, sugary foods. You've been acclimated to that for years. Your taste buds will begin to change. You have to give yourself enough time and grace to let that process happen. With fad diets that I don't like is that it doesn't really encourage healthy, natural eating habits. What I like to do is focus on ways to start changing those behaviors, to start getting you used to doing new habits for the long term. If you're trying to do these things naturally and for long-term sustainability, there's just certain lifestyle habits that have to be input into your life. There's no cutting corners. Even if you were to take a weight loss medication, you still have to have habits in place to maintain that. The drug didn't touch on the behavior of the habit, but once you stop taking that medication, those signals come back online and you're going to eat again and you go back into these same behaviors, these same habits. So it's a very psychological thing. Okay, so there's a chart I really want you to check out. It's called the stages of change. This is what clients go through as they go through each stage of change, right? So we have first the pre-contemplation stage. This is the stage where you're not even thinking about making changes. Then you move into the contemplation stage because you saw something, you learned about the benefits of this action, and you're interested to learn more, but you haven't done anything about it. So you're thinking about it, right? Then you move into the preparation stage. This is the stage where you still haven't taken like hardcore action towards the goal, but you are like preparing yourself for it, like whether that's mentally or you're moving things around time-wise to like set yourself up to get started on this thing, right? This stage is usually pretty quick. From preparation, you move into the action phase. A lot of you might be in the action stage right now. In the action stage, what happens is you're actually taking action. You're staying consistent with your plan, but you've only been doing this for less than 6 months. So it's not fully in there, but it's in there. And you're getting used to it. You're taking action and you're feeling good about it, okay? From the action stage, you move into the maintenance stage. Now, in the maintenance stage, you've been consistent with your actions for now over 6 months, right? So they're embedded now into your psyche. Like you know what it takes, what you need to be doing, okay? And you're maintaining. What happens is usually in the maintenance stage, you either go into relapse of old habits, you go back to gaining weight, or you move into a stable life phase where you just maintain, you get it, you feel good about what you're doing, and behaviors you picked up is just the way you live life now. That's the part that I want to help you avoid, is that relapse phase. And usually to avoid relapsing, you need education behind the nutrition. You need accountability. You need to track your food. You might need to schedule a session or several sessions and talk it out to get you refocused back on it. And that's fine. A lot of people go through this. However, the goal is to not have to go back to that. So I hope you were able to pull some value out of this video. I want you to come back. I want you to check out my next video on vegan diets and carnivore diets and all these other fad diets like keto. And I'm also going to touch a little bit more on fasting. And we're going to discuss macronutrients so that you can better understand the foods that are on your plate.